All right, good morning. It's Monday morning. This is Brunansky's vlog. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. You're on Facebook Live, or maybe you're watching this on the YouTube replay. Either way, thank you for joining me this morning or whenever you're watching. We have got a lot to cover today. We are going to jump into the weekend box office because there are big things happening in the weekend box office. So we're going to take a look at that. And then also, we're going to take a look at some spoilery conversations as far as Black Panther is concerned, because now that it's Monday, I hope you guys, and it's a holiday weekend, right? President's Day weekend, so that 4-day weekend. So I hope you guys had an opportunity to get out to see it at least once. I know I was able to get out to see it twice, Thursday night and then Friday morning. And if you just saw this week's brand new episode, which just dropped on YouTube, so the brand new episode for this week just dropped. So hopefully you had a chance to watch that because I give my full spoiler review on that. So you can check that out if you haven't seen it yet. If not, right after this video, go ahead and head over and it'll be available for you on this week's show. And then later this week, it will be dropping right into the movie review playlist. So go ahead and check that out there. We'll give everybody a second. Then we're going to look at some movies that are dropping in March. But we'll give everybody a second to hop in and then we'll get rocking and rolling. So give us 1 second and then we'll be good to go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. This is Brunansky's vlog. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeremy Brunansky with Brunansky's vlog. I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea here. I've got the box office report from this weekend. Let's go ahead and take a look at one news story then that dropped this morning. We are live right now. We are going to cover Friday's box office. So for this weekend's box office, on these Facebook Live sessions, we do like to cover the weekend box office. So what does that mean? That means that this is pretty impressive, as you'll hear in a minute. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, so don't worry. In theory, that film should have done gangbusters. This movie is so much fun. I think the rewatchability factor is super high. Wow, this was actually a fun time. I'm on board. Sign me up. Game over. If you're watching this on replay, thank you. All right, let's just get into it. Number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. All right, we're back. Thank you guys so much for joining us here this morning on Brunansky's Vlog Live here on Facebook, or maybe you're watching this on YouTube replay. Thank you guys as well for that. We've got a lot to talk about this week. In case you missed the intro to the show, we are going to be talking weekend box office. We're going to take a look at who are the big winners this weekend. We're also going to dive in and take a look at some spoiler conversations for Black Panther. And then we're going to take a look at what I'm calling March Movie Madness, because there's a lot of movies coming out next month that give a really solid argument for why you should go ahead and get Movie Pass. But we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the weekend box office. On this show, we like to go from number 5 all the way up to number 1 to see who's making what money and who went to go see what films this weekend. So we did have the holiday weekend. We're not going to look at the holiday weekend box office. We're just going to look at the normal weekend box office. If you want, you can head over to Box Office Mojo. They have an option for you to click on that will show you the holiday weekend box office. But we're, like I said, we're just going to take a look right now at the full weekend box office, just normal, non-holiday, anything. But here in the States, it is President's Day, so happy President's Day to everybody that has it off. Go ahead and sound off in the comments below with who your favorite president is. I'll go ahead and throw mine up on the board right now. My favorite president still to this day is Thomas Jefferson, and I'm actually debating on which one of my 2 Thomas Jefferson books I'll be reading today in honor of President's Day. But that's neither here nor there. That has nothing to do with movies, so we're not going to worry about it. All right, so go ahead. But again, comment below with who your favorite president is in the comments section. But let's go ahead and dive right now into the weekend box office. All right, so coming in at number 5, we have the 1517 to Paris with 7,620,000. Number 4 is Jumanji with 7,925,000. Number 3, 50 Shades Freed at 17,320,000. Number 2, Peter Rabbit at 17,600,000. And Black Panther crushes with $201,797,000. Boom. Huge. Huge. That is dynamite numbers. Yesterday, I think they said it came in 5th for all time. The box office. I have to double check that. I didn't read the article. I just saw a headline on Twitter and I was like, well, that's impressive. I know it's done other things as well, but 200 in February. In February, people. It was gigantic when Deadpool did over $100 million. They were like, what is going on? How did Deadpool do over $100 million? And then Black Panther comes in and just crushes with almost double that. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. $201 million. Look, I've seen it twice. I really enjoyed it. So it doesn't surprise me that it's making money, but $201 million, almost $202 million for the weekend. Now, the holiday one, like we said, is over. It's like 230 plus, which is also dynamite. But oh my goodness, what a phenomenal feat from Marvel Studios and Black Panther. My goodness, over $200 million. That is nuts. Now, if you've seen Black Panther, go ahead and comment below with your thoughts as to what your impressions of the film were. Now that you guys have had an opportunity to check out my review that dropped on this week's show. And then we'll get into some spoiler talk as well. But let's take a look at the rest of it. Peter Rabbit, again, I did a review for that. I enjoyed Peter Rabbit. It was oddly the most controversial film of 2018, which still the mind reels. I don't get it. But yeah, it's a fun movie. You know, it's just a fun movie. 50 Shades Freed. Apparently love is still in the air, even though Valentine's Day is over, because that movie came in third. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. No surprise there. January and February, there's not usually a lot of competition, and Jumanji is a really good time. 1517 to Paris. I did a review on that one as well. I'll just go ahead and throw up that review right here on the card. If you're watching this on YouTube replay, you can just check that out. 1517 to Paris. It's not a great film. In fact, just to give you a quick little, like, what did I think of the film, just real high level kind of stuff. The people that are the stars in the film are not actors. They're the actual real life heroes. So do not expect good acting from them because they are not trained actors. They are just regular people who are actually real life heroes. And that's what you get from them. You get what would someone who's not trained in acting deliver a performance like? Well, there you go. Because again, real life heroes, not actors. So that's, yeah, don't worry about that. But the rest of the cast, I feel like they were told just like, don't act as good as you can act, because the rest of the cast is really good. But like, yeah, again, they're just like, yeah, just try and dial back your talent for the other people. Like they should have just let these people do their job and we'll be fine. But they didn't. But check out the full review. Like I said, I just threw the card up. You can go back and watch that. You can also just go right to the YouTube playlist, movie reviews, and you can see all the films I've reviewed right there as well. And you can check all of those out at your convenience, since it's a holiday. Haha. All right, here we go. Next up is The Greatest Showman, coming in at number 6, then Early Man at 7, Maze Runner at number 8, Winchester at 9, and The Post at 10. Really surprised at Early Man still not breaking the top 5. I really had a fun time. Like, it's not a great movie. It's just a goofy, fun movie. It's cavemen playing soccer. That's the movie. So that's what you get, but it's stop motion animation and it's fun. Like, I think the trailers really did a disservice for this film because the trailers were not good at all for this film. In fact, I didn't even want to see the film because of the trailers, but I did a double feature and that was the film that I was playing right after I got out of the theater. So I went to go see Early Man and I'm glad I did because it was actually a fun time. Again, not a great movie, but a fun movie. It's caveman playing soccer. What do you want? What are your expectations that you need some type of Oscar-worthy, animated performance? It's just a goofy, fun movie. Also, there's a weird... when I was thinking about it, it hit me kind of like in that little place in your brain that laughs at odd coincidences. And there's this weird coincidence that both Black Panther and Early Man share. And I mentioned... this is my apologies for this, because I said we were going to talk about it on Saturday's Facebook Live, and then I completely forgot. So we'll talk about it right now. There's this strange coincidence between both Black Panther and Early Man, like a similarity in their storytelling. And the similarities between Early Man and Black Panther all revolve around the beginning of the film. Because at the beginning of the film, a meteor strikes Earth, and it's a vibranium meteor, and that's what develops Wakanda. And in Early Man, a meteor strikes the Earth, and what's left from that meteor is basically like a meteor soccer ball. And cavemen learn how to play soccer by kicking around this meteor. So both of the films originate with a meteor. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. It didn't hit me at first, and then when I was writing my reviews for it last week, I was like, oh, wait, interesting. I saw 2 movies that all dealt with a meteor. Huh. How about that? All right, so let's go ahead now and just real quick, we'll just recap. Coming in at number 1, Black Panther, again, over $200 million. Peter Rabbit, number 2, 50 Shades Freed, number 3, Jumanji, number 4, and 1517 to Paris coming in at number 5. All right. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am about more movies that are coming out. Before we get into the spoiler talk for Black Panther, let's go ahead and take a look at just one quick thing here, because there's a lot of, I didn't realize how many good movies were coming out in March. And then I was looking at an article this morning on Empire, because they were talking about these new photos that released from Ready Player One. And so I was like, oh, cool. And so I pulled it up, and it's literally just a photo of Steven Spielberg on set talking to people. And I was like, that was, my expectation was up here. And now I was like, okay, well, So I'm going to go ahead and throw a link for that article in the comments section below. So if you're watching this right now on Facebook Live, you can go ahead and just click on that, and it'll take you over so you can see the article itself. And you can see that photo. It talks a little bit about Ready Player One and shows another set photo as well. So you can take a look at that if you guys are as excited as I am about Ready Player One, because as someone who grew up in the 80s and loved going to loved going to the arcade and just losing quarter after quarter on different video games, like the nerd excitement level for Ready Player One is like through my head. Like it's just like if rainbows of 80s awesomeness could shoot out of the top of my head, that's how excited I am for Ready Player One. Like every time I see a trailer for this, I'm like, oh, and there's one more. And then the last trailer, there was like a T-Rex running through. I was like, this is just my brain is going to melt from the level of awesomeness that I will experience in the theater. Even if the movie is not great, but the visuals are better than what the trailers look like, because the trailers look great. The special effects in the trailers look great. So if the final product is even better than that, like my brain is just going to melt from 80s awesomeness. I can't wait for Ready Player One. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, it's in the comments section, so you can check that article out. If you're watching this on YouTube replay, just go ahead and expand the description box, and the link for the Empire article will be down there. But yeah, and that is Ready Player One. So let's go ahead and take a look. I put together a real quick splash page for movies that are coming out in March. So let's go ahead and take a look at that here real quick. So give me 1 second, and we'll pull that up, and you can take a look at this here, because this is a pretty fine argument for you guys to get Movie Pass if you haven't got it yet. Now, I love my Movie Pass. You know, I paid for the full year up front, which was like $90. And I've seen more movies. Movie Pass paid for itself like in the first 3 weeks of January. So everything I see now is basically for free, and it's a delightful thing. So here is what's coming out in March. March Movie Madness. Take a look at this. Ba-boom. There we go. All right. So we've got movies all over the board. Now, this is not just animated films. This is not just films for family. This is the gambit. We're running everything we can here for movies. So we've got Death Wish, Bruce Willis's new movie, the remake, Red Sparrow, already getting some positive early feedback online from critics in LA who've already seen it. A Wrinkle in Time, Ava DuVernay's new film that looks like it's going to be just this really cool, trippy sci-fi adventure piece. So if you haven't seen trailers for that, definitely recommend you do that. Next, Strangers, Pray at Night. This is a horror film. I've not seen any of the Strangers films leading up to this, so I don't know what's going on in this series, why they're wearing masks and weapons. But I'm assuming Pray at Night with their poses, that's just a play on the word pray. And then The Gringo, that looks like it's actually going to be a really good movie. That looks like it's actually going to be a sleeper good movie where it's going to come out and people are going to be like, meh. And then all of a sudden, like, it'll hit DVD and everybody's talking about it. So fingers crossed that Gringo is as good as my expectations or my gut is telling me it's going to be. After that, we have Hurricane Heist. I don't know how this film actually made it into the theaters. It looks like something that should go straight to the Sci-Fi Channel, but hey, why not? Why not? Tomb Raider, the new Alicia Vikander version. Excited to see that. The Tomb Raider franchise hasn't been great consistently. I enjoyed the first one, second one, meh. But looking forward to this one to see what comes from this one. Next up is Love, Simon. That is the young adult high school piece about the kid who comes out to his parents that he's gay. It's going to be like a comedy, I'm assuming it's going to be like a rom-com from the trailers. And then Pacific Rim Uprising, which obviously is the follow-up to Pacific Rim. And then Midnight Sun is about the love story about the girl who has the skin condition that doesn't allow her in the sunlight because it burns her skin. Sherlock Gnomes, just give me the soundtrack for Sherlock Gnomes because the soundtrack's all done by the incredible Elton John. Isle of Dogs, most anticipated movie for me of March. Cannot wait for that movie. That will be my birthday present to myself, is a showing of Isle of Dogs. Unsane. This is going to be a new movie where this girl like checks herself into a mental institution, but then she doesn't realize they're keeping her. So that movie is probably going to scare and freak a lot of people out. Looking forward to that one. Ready Player One, as we just discussed, cannot wait for that one. Check out the Empire article in the comments below. And then Taraji P has got a new film coming out called Acrimony, which looks like it could be really good. The trailers give you enough that you kind of understand what's going on. It looks like, you know, they're married, but then like he's engaged with somebody else. High drama, high stakes, could be fun. Check it out. So a lot of different films, right? Red Sparrow, spy thriller, Death Wish, straight up action, Wrinkle in Time, adventure, gringo comedy, hurricane heist, sci-fi nonsense. Strangers, horror, Love Simon, young adult rom-com, Midnight Sun, young adult, Sherlock Gnomes. Good soundtrack, I guess. But yeah, check it out. Go get that movie pass because that movie pass is going to help you guys out when it comes to March movies. Because as you can see, there's a lot of quality coming down the pipe. All right. So let's jump into a little bit of spoiler conversation for Black Panther. If you have not seen Black Panther yet, this is your cue to leave. Exit stage left. Please close the door gently. Don't slam it on your way out. We are going to talk right now Black Panther. So if you've seen it, let's talk. If you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, vamos. Now would be the time to leave. And then come back after you've seen Black Panther and throw your comments in the comment section about what you thought about the film. So let's go ahead and talk about Black Panther right now. Spoiler City, Population Us. It's happening. Here we go. All right, so for Black Panther, really enjoyed it. As you heard on the trailer, I don't think there was one central villain that was an actual person. I think the villain was the theme of cultural theme of isolationism. Chair is super noisy. That they had, and so when he overcame that finally at the end, that's when he finally defeated the villain of the movie. That's kind of where my head was at. If you think differently, if you think that Killmonger was the actual villain, more than T'Challa trying to defeat the culture of his country to advance them forward in the world, to bring them more present. Go ahead and sound off with your counter argument below and let us know why. But as far as the vibranium goes, the soul gem, everything like that, I'm like, look, I've got two theories that I have rattling around in my brain box. One is that the soul gem was in the meteor that struck the Earth. The vibranium meteor. That's where vibranium comes from, is from the soul gem. And in the trailers, you see for Infinity War, you see all of that, the Thanos army with the Black Order, like rushing towards Captain America and Black Panther and everybody, even M'Baku, I guess, was in. I didn't even see him, but then there was an image online that popped up. That trailer was so quick. I was like, oh, didn't even realize how many people were in that part of the trailer. But it's that scene where like everybody's like rushing towards each other in that giant like Lord of the Rings battle sequence that you see in the trailer. So if Thanos is coming to Wakanda, he's got to be coming there for a specific reason. And we know his reasons are to collect the Infinity Stone. So is the Infinity Stone in Wakanda? Maybe. It could be actually in the heart of the meteor that struck Wakanda, which is the heart of the vibranium. Also, that means, it could mean, right? We see Killmonger destroying all of the flowers that give them the heightened sensibility, give them the incredible strength, allows them to talk to the dead, right? It takes them to the ancestral plane. So does that mean that since it's already in the Earth can just regrow itself? Because that would be normal evolution. The Earth just regrows itself and we get those flowers start to grow up again. So even though it's like, yeah, he tried to burn all the flowers can just regenerate and regrow because that's normal. That's normal life, right? Yellowstone Park, completely burned. Yellowstone Park is not gone. Nature, life finds a way, to quote Jurassic Park. Life finds a way. So we can assume that those flowers are going to grow back. Not a huge loss. If they don't, they don't. But I'm under the assumption that they will. And then we'll be fine. The legacy of Black Panther can continue. And that's why Thanos' Black Order is coming to Wakanda, is to get to the heart of the vibranium to steal the soul gem. My other theory was that Odin, because Odin likes his secrets and he likes to play games with people, that he actually had the soul gem and he created and manifested a physical form around it, which was Heimdall. Now, this is probably one of my more out there theories. And so Heimdall is actually the soul gem personified as a human. And that's why he's an incredible weapon. And he's able to see across all the 9 realms. He's able to see everybody. Could be wrong. We don't know. We're still waiting for that confirmation. And then I saw something. I don't remember if, I think it was comicbookresources.com. I think. Don't quote me on that. Posted an article last night on Twitter about how there was, how they're speculating that Captain Marvel may have the soul gem. And if that's the case, that could be cool too, because Brie Larson, who's going to be Captain Marvel, has really been promoting Black Panther. And I was like, it's interesting that somebody from another Marvel movie is really trying to get people to go see this other Marvel movie before them as much as she has. And then at the opening of Black Panther, we see that Black Panther takes place, the first part of Black Panther takes place in the 90s. Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s. And I was like, wait, does that mean that some of the tech that they have in Wakanda is alien technology? So it wasn't necessarily the vibranium that helped them and advanced their intellect and everything else. It did, right? Because it gives them heightened abilities. But did they also have a conversation with the Kree or the Skrulls back in the day? And that's how they got the advanced tech, right? So is it going to be, did Marvel figure out a way to inject like what, people, there are people out there that believe aliens helped the Egyptians build pyramids, right? And all that stuff. So is there a way that like they figured out, like, we'll just take that idea and we'll inject it into the Wakandan universe. So like we have aliens that actually helped this African nation develop like high-tech weaponry and everything else because they have the vibranium, because they have the soul gem. We don't know. We have to wait and see. But I thought it was interesting that takes place in the 90s. And then there was the Wakanda reference in one of the Iron Man movies, right? And then there's the Wakanda reference in Avengers Age of Ultron. And we know that S.H.I.E.L.D. is aware of it. And we know that Nick Fury is coming back for Captain Marvel. So there's like this whole thing where S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe even Hydra, since we know Hydra, like there's so many levels that we can go to with Wakanda, because if there's only one guy who's been there and back that they know of, and that was Claw, and now he's dead. Well, why does S.H.I.E.L.D. know about him? They obviously know about him because they have him on the map. Have they not been there? Did Wakanda not know that S.H.I.E.L.D. had infiltrated? Was it really S.H.I.E.L.D.? Was it Hydra? So many possibilities, right? So looking forward to Captain Marvel. I'm under the assumption right now, because she was pushing it so hard. She was like, look, you guys need to go see this film because this film will have tie-ins to my movie. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So hopefully once Captain Marvel comes out, we'll have a better idea. But Infinity War comes out in a couple months. So we don't have to wait very long for more answers to find out where the soul gem is, to conclude 10 years of storytelling, to find out what's going on. Does Captain Marvel come back? If Captain Marvel has the soul gem, is that why she's been able to hide? Because she can literally like see where people are. Is that what the soul gem does? Is it give you that power? Or is it like what we see in Black Panther, where it gives you the ability to go talk to the dead and you can have a conversation with the deceased, gain their wisdom, gain their knowledge, all of their insights and stuff like that? We don't know. We've got to wait and see, but there's so much going on. Let me just make sure we didn't miss anything here on that. Nope, looks like we're all good there as far as my notes are concerned. So sound off below with what you guys thought about Black Panther. What are your speculations? What are your hypotheses going forward for the MCU? There's so much to talk about now, because when you look back at 10 years of storytelling, hitting Black Panther, which is a standalone film, but with everything we know going into Infinity War, it's really not a standalone film because of how much speculation we can do. My goodness. Let me know, let everybody watching these videos know, what are your thoughts for the MCU going forward in the comments section. Same for everybody watching this on the YouTube replay. Go ahead and hit the comments and leave your thoughts below. If you're watching this on the YouTube replay, thank you so much. We're trying to climb our way to 100 subscribers. We're almost there. We just need a couple more people. So go ahead, if you haven't yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and then hit the bell so you get the notifications when new content drops. Appreciate it. Also, if you have friends or family that like movie-related shows, let them know about this one because we talk movies here on Facebook Live and YouTube. So that's it for me. Let me just check the board real quick, make sure we don't have any questions or comments that need to be addressed before we get out of here. 1 second. All right. Nope. Looks like we are good to go. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great President's Day. Again, leave, if you're in the States, go ahead and leave in the comments section who your favorite president is and why. Anybody else outside of the United States, go ahead and just leave your thoughts for any of the topics that we discussed on today's Facebook live stream. For everybody watching this on YouTube replay, same goes for you. Presidents and comments. That's what we're here for this week. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. I got a couple things I got to do to wrap up this week's show with this Facebook live stream on YouTube, and then we can all enjoy this holiday. All right, so thank you guys so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed any portion of this show, go ahead and give me that thumbs up because the thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show on Facebook and YouTube. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next Monday, 10 a.m. PST on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky, and you've just finished watching a Facebook Live replay. Now, if you enjoyed that, you may also want to check out the weekly show playlist, as well as the movie news playlist, which covers just the news segments from every Monday's episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe. We'll see you guys next Monday right here on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog at 10 a.m. PST. Have a great week. Take care.